So here we are back in another day, and we're going to do a little dark magic and get some spark plug wires taken care of. So let's just get rolling. Alright, so here we are on the turbo side, and we're going to start making sure we got some wires that'll fit. So let's just kind of throw one on here, see just how short this really needs to be on this side. Chances are we can make these really short on this side. Probably can go with that one. Well, you don't need these very long at all. So let's just see what we can do to make up one of these and see what we end up with. Okay, those are 90s. There we go. Okay. Now it comes with 3 different types of boots. We got the 90 degree boot, the straight boot, and then the, what is that, 130 degree or whatever they call it. This way you can make something work no matter what you're wrestling with. The coil end comes pre-terminated and they're on Moroso wires. So you're at least getting most of the way there. So let's just break ourselves off one of these guys. Let's pull our boot off of that wire. Dropped it. We are quite literally going to be probably about that short. Alright, so in a perfect world, I would have a cutting gauge so I can gauge how deep I'm going. But very rarely do I operate in a perfect world. So we got that guy run through. Let's go and double check our length here. Clip it on. See how we'll manage. We'll be pretty much about there. Tweak it a little bit that way. That looks pretty good. So now we can assemble this thing. Alright, so essentially last time we just left off, we're here, and we were in the process of trying to crimp some clamps on. So it's like I had the wrong tool. So quick couple days shipping, we got a correct one. So now I've got to find where I put all my junk. So no matter what I did, I will edit it to make it look better. But we just lube her up, Little bit of lube in there. Slime it all together. There we go, out it comes. Now then, take these and bend them in a little bit. Helps the clamp make its proper clamp. Then make sure you angle everything in there. Fold your electrode in. Now we're stuck here. And that's just a simple bite with crimpers. Now getting this lined up is usually a pain because they never want to align properly right from the get-go. There we go. That feels like a good bite. And then we just clamp her in. Now you can tell that piece is clamped on pretty good. So now we just slide this guy back into the boot. Until it feels about right. Should feel it pretty much twist in there. And we got ourselves a wire. Ain't that something? Let's just clean her up a bit here. And we can jam our sleeve on here. All right. And there we go. Give a little grease in the hole there. A little bit on that one up there. There we go. So now let's move on to the other side, because if we screw up on one of the longer cables, we can cut it and make a short cable. So that should prevent some mishaps that could happen. Let's just grab our tools and head on over there. But I guess you don't really necessarily need to watch me do that, so I'll just get to work. Alright, so spark plugs are done. Everything's kind of fitted up. We got our socks on to keep from incinerating everything. So we should be sitting in a pretty decent position. Fun one was, of course, this side over here, but with a little bit of finagling, we've got plenty of airspace, and we got our socks reaching down to the boots down there. So I'm gonna mark that one off as being done. Now we got a bunch of extra boots and quite a few feet of wire left. So we can kind of sack that away for another project and keep moving forward. All right, so let's take a look at our to-do list here. Like our turbo, we can mark that off. We still have blow-off valve that we need to rig up. That'll go with the intercooler pipe. Still got the rest of the exhaust pipe. Gotta put the stabilizer back on, order a drive shaft. We really only have fuel lines and the pressure regulator left for that. We've kind of scratched off some of these because we changed plan. This here, switched to Terminator because that came out. So we still got to deal with that. Muffler, we'll probably scratch that off. Don't care anymore. Oil cooler, that's off. Diff cooler, we don't necessarily need, so that can wait for later. Brake duct, same. Rear wing, someday. Front splitter, black, flat bottom, yeah. Wiring harness. Spark plug and wires, there we go. Off with that one. Accelerator pedal, harness, and the gauges. Then brakes, wheels and tires. Mess with the shifter, where that's going. Door cards, windshield. And we don't necessarily have to do the hood. That can wait for a later day. Same with power locks. This one, not too sure about that. Oil accumulator. Although I like the concept of it, I think we can, let's just scratch that off. Who knows? We can get, since we got those baffles that we put in there here, we probably won't even need that. And half the time I've been reading up that it doesn't react fast enough, so you're hosed either way. Whatever. So yeah, we are definitely making our way through the list. Oh yeah, before I go, I had this like surge tank fuel sensor. I wanted that in there to sense if we're pulling more fuel out of the surge tank than can be provided, meaning that we'd have to put a bigger tube in there. But after some calculations of the 12 AN fitting, just that fitting itself should supply something like 330 gallons per hour, and our fuel pumps at full bore are only like 200 gallons an hour, somewhere in there. And the fact that it's returning into the surge tank and not the fuel tank, whatever you don't use is just shoved back in there. So we shouldn't really have a problem with that. But what we should probably add off here I like to put a small radiator type cooler for the return fuel, because as you generate pressure, it generates heat. So I want to make sure that as it gets cycled back into the tank, that it kind of cools it off. So We could also put it on the feed side, but I don't know, that's something we can figure out. Because if we put it on the feed side, I don't know, we'll think about that one. But yeah, moving on. All right, there's kind of the first look of a 90% done operation. All right, so thanks again for joining me for this. Off camera, I did throw the feed line for the turbo on. It was just pretty much a couple hose clamps and hook the hose on. Nothing real big to see there. So we got that. Spark plug's taken care of, so we can move on. Yeah, not too sure what next project we're gonna hit with this thing, but I know I've got some house video coming up because I've been working out there quickly before the snow flies, and we'll just see where we go from there. And yeah, anyways, we'll see you later.